What's going on, guys? Ryan with Jedha Patrol, back with another video. Today, I have probably one of the coolest unboxings, the coolest boat, the coolest figure, the coolest releases of 2022 in the house right now. We're talking about Hydra Stomper and Steve Rogers. Look, he's right here. Look at that. It's freaking amazing. So, yes, I'm recording the intro after I've already unboxed it. Possible figure of the year. Possible figure set of the year, possible figure trio. It's freaking good. Now, if you're wondering, I got mine from Pop Collectibles because that's where I get all my stuff. There's a link in the description below if you'll check them out. Now, I will warn you on this one. This is a big box. It's a big freaking box. So shipping on this one for overseas, it's pricey, okay? So I'm warning you on that one. If you get regular 6-scale figures, it's usually not that bad. This guy's just going to be pricey, okay? But look at this thing. Look at that. So we're going to show you the unboxing, go through all the stuff, how you put it together, batteries, all that stuff, pose it up, add some fun to it. Should be pretty interesting. Anyways, let's get to the unboxing. Roll the intro. All right, I hope you guys are ready for this because there's a lot of stuff going on here. And yes, it's going to be a little difficult with a top-down angle, but obviously we'll flip angles and add lighting and make it look all fancy shortly. But this guy right here is a freaking behemoth. Look at how, I want to kind of, before I get too far into this, I just want to tell you, this is awesome. It just is. All right. It's just awesome. But there's some good news for you guys out there who collect boxes, like the shipper boxes. I know the shipper box collectors out there. Let me grab this. For you shipper box collectors out there, like this is the only box you get. It says Hydra Stomper on it, Steve Rogers, and there's a clamshell inside. And there we go. It's a freaking ginormous box, right? So you get the figure, and it's in the clamshell in that box, and then you have this nice little cover art. There's no actual art box. It's the shipper box with the clamshell. And then you get this giant like artwork thing here, which is kind of nice. Right, Hydra Stomper, Steve Rogers. It's kind of nice. Got the the Watcher and all the different characters on there. It's pretty nice. But yeah, so there's that. It'll probably go in the storage building, never to be seen again. I do have this guy right here. So we'll get to him in just a second. I figure we'll do Hydra Stomper first, and we'll break this guy out. So he does come in his own little box. There is a inner box here, and this is just like packing material or whatever. So yeah, big box, lots of stuff. So there are some pieces that you actually have to add to this guy, which I figured I would do on camera before we get into it. So on the top part, there's a magnetic plate. If you have an Iron Man figure, 3 batteries go in here. Boom. Very simple. This is magnetic. I'm making it look harder than it actually is. There we go. The magnetic. And then you open this guy all the way up. Top down look. Oh, look at that. It's inside. It's pretty easy. And then you have this piece right here, which you have to add the batteries right there. So there's 3 batteries going there. And then there's 3 pegs. There's a peg here, peg here, insert, and they go right in here as I drop stuff. On-off switch is right there. So we'll just peg this in here. There we go. All right, so we're in. So now all we got to do, if we want to turn either one of these on, we take this off, flip that switch, take this on, switch that switch. This thing is freaking glorious. All right, absolutely glorious. Look at this, the paint applications, the weathering. It's the right color for an OD green. It's just all kinds of awesome. So there's your light switch. It's quite bright. They are blue and light. It might be kind of easier to see in the next lighting setup. And then you've got this part right here. Pop this off, flip the switch. And there we go. So there's your light up function. They're quite bright. They really are. They need to be wired. You got batteries to deal with. That's okay for now. One thing I will tell you that I have noticed just off the bat with this thing, turn these batteries off so they don't die for the next segment of videos. There we go. Is when you pop open, get back in there. When you pop open this internal or the hatch, I guess, if you will, there's a slight gap going around here and around here. It's not horrible, but it is there. And I think it kind of fits with the mold. It fits with the vibe of where this thing is coming from because it's man-made. It's not nanotech, anything like that, but Just notice that, okay? So a couple of things to note. I will absolutely be breaking out the Hulkbuster in a little bit, and we'll compare them sizes, that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people want to see that, but I'm actually quite excited about this. So heads up on the up close section here. But we do have a lot of paint applications going on here. We have almost like that Iron Man 1 mask situation going on the front, almost kind of like that. But not quite. It does have a couple little teethies going on right there. And there's different paint applications. So you've got like this OD green. Then you've got like splashes of sand and black, some silver going on. You've got this like charcoal black section going on here with wash going on there. There's some like metallic edging going on this side. I mean, all the way around, I don't think there's any panels that have been left unweathered, okay? I really don't think there are. Going down to his right arm, you've got this section here, which is on a ratchet. It's a very strong ratchet. But when we go down here, then we've got our little Gatling gun, machine gun going here. And then underneath, there's another gun down at the bottom. Articulated fingers, and it does have almost on the wrist section here, a different dark coating, and then some weathering going on there. And then if you've got an Iron Man figure, articulated fingers are nicely done. I dig those very much. Now, you can hold this with one hand. I would not recommend doing this with Hulkbuster. It is plastic versus Hulkbuster being just heavily engineered with wires and just structure for a different purpose. But you can do this. I would not worry about putting this on if it'll fit. I don't know if it will. DTOF, I'll try that. I don't think it will width-wise. But yeah, it's definitely more manageable than a Hulkbuster, okay? So we got the nice little star going on here. We've got our C-15. And then, so we saw the weapons on this side, but on this side, pretty much nothing. Pretty much like a little rail system we've got going on this section with this black with some nice speckling, some weathering. Again, articulated fingers. And it is just all kinds of awesome. So range of motion, I am going to add the backpack. We'll deal with that in a little bit, but I want that range of motion on this first because it is limited, but it's probably enough for our purposes. So ball joint on the shoulder, get this guy out of the way. It is on a hinge that we've seen with Iron Man figures in the past. You can actually see it right in there. So you can get that out of the way, which will allow you access to that ball joint so you can move this guy around however you like. And I've had it where the arms are straight out. It's plenty tight, no issues with that whatsoever. And then you've got what is essentially kind of like a double bend here. Bend here. On strong ratchets, you're going to get about 90 degrees, maybe not quite 90, maybe right at, on both sides. However, the lower half, nothing, right? So you're going to get a waist rotation, which goes very far. And I found the best way to do this is just grab it kind of in here and rotate it. It'll go very far. It'll go much further than I'm willing to do, just standing here holding it. But that leads me to the lower half, which is molded. So here's a Hydro butt, if you will. Molded pieces. This is not moving. There's no movement on the lower half. So essentially a power pose figure. On the back of the thigh, you can see all this rivets they've got going on down the side here on both sides. You got this dark section, weathering going on, and then back here on the back of the ankle, there's some nice more detail going on here. No rotation whatsoever on the foot. But if we rotate this guy around just a little bit, you can see there is some different shades. There's a lighter shade of green here, darker brown, bronzy color here, green here. And then you've got all these cool little like grab handles here for your characters to climb on, which we're definitely going to be doing because we do have Captain Carter and obviously we have Steve Rogers to play around with here. So, but there are some things we're going to have to add to the figure. So put it right here. And on the back, let me rotate this guy right here. On the back, there's going to be a spot right here for the jetpack, and I figured I'd show that to you before I go adding it all on. So this is the part that attaches to the actual back of the figure. There's a screw right here that you need to attach. I definitely recommend having a precision screwdriver. One is not included in the box, so make sure you got one with you. Range of motion on this guy? Well, none. This doesn't move. There's like molded plastic here. Pretty much nothing here except for right here where you can adjust the foot pegs. And the foot pegs and these guys right here come separate. So you actually have to add these on. They just peg on. That's very simple. Not very complicated at all. And there's your range of motion on this guy, which is not a hell of a lot, which is fine. But paint applications on this is good. There is a magnetic cover that goes right over that, so you don't have to see the screw. And then the only other piece you really need to add is this antenna. And the antenna goes right here. So we'll go ahead and add that guy on there. Just pegs right in there. And then we'll add this on the back of our figure, screw it in, and then we'll move on to Steve Rogers and posing and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's go ahead and add this guy on. I very much am happy with this. I don't know if you can tell that or not. All right, once we got that pegged in there, we just screw it in. And then I think we're in business. Let's see here. As that screw floats around, here we go. There we go. All right, so this is what it looks like after you've attached it. It is quite huge. I can't wait to get to posing on this guy. Check out those, man. There's no detail really on the bottom. It's like some flame effects. Some flame effects would have been really appreciated here, but they did not include them. That is unfortunate. The hoses back here probably use a little bit more paint applications. I may customize this. I may go and break out the airbrush and have some fun with this guy and paint him up. That might just be something we got to do. We'll see. I don't know. But he does also come with this, which is a flight stand, which we're definitely going to be using. And it seems rather sturdy. So kind of dig that. And it's got like the Hydra Stomper. Yeah, I kind of dig it. We might break that out. Now, Steve does have this tiny box compared to the Hydra Stomper. And it does have a nice little slip cover on it. So that's cool. We got our nice little animation cells of Captain Carter and Black Widow and whatnot on here. This nice matte section going on here. Matte section here. High gloss there. And here we go. We have our little Steve Rogers. That's nice. Let's open this guy up and see what the heck he's all about. Because another animated figure for the collection as we add them. And I'm hoping Hot Toys continues to give us animated figures. I know not everyone loves the animated style, but, you know, some of us do. It's all good. All right, let's see what we got. Man, this is such a small tray compared to what we're used to. All right, let's get you out of here. Get you out of here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look at this thing, man. It's freaking cool. Look at this. That's good looking, man. The hair is darker than I was thinking. I don't know why I was thinking it wouldn't be that dark. As Chris Evans is blonde, but it's not really Chris Evans. It's Steve Rogers animated, but you get my point. I dig this. Now, I did a video on Captain Carter, and I don't think I've actually released that video, but I will, in which I touched on the head sculpt. I actually do like the paint applications on the head sculpt on these animated figures. However, the hair is where it lets down because it's like there's nice paint application. There's some speckling. There's some detail going on the head. The eyes and the deep cut sculpted eyes and the paint applications on there are good. And then the hair is just very flat. So that's kind of where I got the head sculpt. The paint applications there are good. And then the hair kind of goes flat. And I mean, that's just a product of animation style stuff, right? This green color, this fabric material, I think is great. I don't think we're having any issues posing this guy. Double bend all in there. Nice turtleneck. Nice material there. Like, that's pretty cool. Let's get this plastic stuff off of here. Got the plastic stuff off. Let's take a look at this guy. The buckles are all plastic. I think that's fine. I mean, it's just baggy. Like, it's a baggy suit, and that makes 100% sense to me. Nice backpack here with that stripe covers across the back as well. The costume design in general is beautiful on this thing. Big oversized boots, like those definitely, he borrowed those from somebody. Those definitely don't look like it. Even the gloves. And I picked these hands up. These are probably some of the lightest material hands, 6-scale hands I've managed or handled in a while. I mean, they pretty much weigh nothing. But we do have a couple different hands. We got some pointing hands, right and left pointing hand. Got that going on here. And there's nice little paint applications on there. Oh, they're fairly flat, but there's a little bit of weathering. Nice saluting hand, grabbing hand. And then I guess we'll need that for holding on to the Hydra Stomper, and then some just relaxed hands that are on the figure itself. Double bend on the knee. I mean, there's no limitations on any of the stuff. The boot wise, here's what that looks like. So we're going to have maybe a little bit there on the boot. It's kind of hard to get some range of motion out of that, but there's some nice texture going on here. I mean, the suit is immaculate clean. There's no weathering going on any of the suit. It is perfectly clean. The figure is perfectly clean. As far as matching colors to the Hydra Stomper, just for comparison, they are definitely different shades of green, which is fine. But somebody would probably ask that question. They are definitely different. But I very much like this head sculpt, man. I do. Some people are going to get a Hydra Stomper alone, and that's fine. But I think you're missing out if you don't get the Steve Rogers to go with it. And it does come with this, although we definitely will not be needing this little, crotch grabber deal. Steve Rogers, we have, what's the point of this when we have this? All right, let's pose it up. And now we've got Hydra Stomper next to Hulkbuster. Everybody wants to see this, and do these two look awesome next to each other? And the answer is absolutely yes. I think they do quite look fantastic. Hulkbuster is still larger. He's got those wide shoulders, right? And height-wise, the antenna on the Hydra Stomper edges out above Hulkbuster, so it does do that. Mobility on the Hulkbuster, they're pretty much similar. Hulkbuster's actually got legs that can move around kind of, and some articulation in the feet, whereas the lower half of the Hydra Stomper is just straight up molded plastic. But other than that, these two look very similar in size. Obviously, the engineering on the Hulkbuster, totally different level. You got a $1,200 figure versus a $600 Hydra Stomper with Steve Rogers. Like, it's next level just value. Bang for the buck on the Hydra Stomper is insane. But there it is, guys, in scale, so you guys can just get an idea of what's going on. We kind of punch in here a little bit. You can see there's just that antenna in the back that just kind of edges over. But these two side by side, if you had the Mark 43 up there and you have Steve Rogers up there, that would look pretty sick. Absolutely going to be one hell of a display and going to take up a ton of space, no doubt about it. Who doesn't love a Hulkbuster? In fact, if you haven't seen my Hulkbuster unboxing, go check that out. I'll try to remember to put a link up there for that. But these two together right there, pretty freaking epic, I must say. And here we go. We've got Captain Carter posed up with our Hydra Stomper and Captain, it's not really Captain Steve Rogers at this point. It's just Steve Rogers. And this is a display. This is when I made the Captain Carter video, which is yet to be released. I said that she was a companion piece to the Hydra Stomper. I 100% believe that. And I see a lot of you out there going, hey, I wish I'd got that Captain Carter. Or maybe I'll get it later, but if I get Hydra Stomper, you definitely need it. The contrasting colors are beautiful. The shelf presence is going to be fantastic. And I just think it's all around solid figure in conjunction with the Hydra Stomper. So go watch that video. I'll release it at some point. But there she is, looking all kinds of good. And like I said, shelf presence is crazy with this one. But I've got Steve. I want to talk about posing this guy in the Hydra Stomper for just a second because it is quite frustrating. So I do not have the light up feature on right now because I wanted you guys to see what it looks like without it. And I don't know that you necessarily need it on all the time. It lights more blue when the light's on, and then when it's off, it's more this opaque white, white color. But with that battery pack in there, getting Steve into the hatch of it is a complete pain in the butt. And I just no other way to put it. It's just frustrating. So that's just one of those things you got to work around because that battery pack is so large and takes up so much room of the hatch. So there's that. All right. So I just want to get that out of the way. The coloration and the difference in the flight suit versus the Hydra Stomper, I think works. If they were matchy, it might not work as well. But Steve looks fantastic. Posing wise, again, no limitations on any of the range of motion on Steve. No issues with that. Hydra Stomper, again, I wanted to have that arm kind of wide out so you can see it will absolutely hold that. I have no fear of that going down. The shoulder is not ratcheted, kind of like the Hulkbuster is ratcheted, but it is plenty of friction there. I'm not really concerned with it. It feels strong enough. I don't think it's going to be like maybe some K2SO figures in the past where the arm started to droop and that joint got loose. I mean, I suppose it's a possibility it can happen, but I don't have that fear at this current time. But I absolutely love this thing, and I am super happy to have it in the collection. And, you know, there was a time when I was debating adding this because, you know, I'm mostly a Star Wars guy, but, I mean, how do you... how do you look at this display and go, yeah, you don't need that. You freaking need it. Here we go, guys. We have Hydra Stomper in flight using the acrylic flight stand that comes with it. We've got Captain Carter on top. We've got Steve Rogers down below. And is this an epic display? Yes, I do believe so. I do believe so. That's just freaking amazing. I got the lights on there for you guys. I was going to add Zombie Hunter Spidey in the mix. But he wouldn't fit on my rotating turntable. Not in a way that would be visually appealing anyways. So we'll play with that in another pose or another video or something. But this looks freaking awesome. The acrylic stand works perfectly. There's just one little piece you got to remove from the waist section of the Hydra Stomper. And then, you know, it pops right in there. It's not an issue. Look at that. Freaking, oh, man. Come on. Tell me you want a Hydra Stomper without a Captain Carter. Go ahead. You can go ahead and try and tell me that, because it ain't the case. The pop of color off of this thing is unfreaking believable. It's a must-have. You gotta have both. So, you know, putting this thing together, I look at this as like you could leave Zombie Hunter Spidey out of this. I think that's doable. However, you got to have these three. You got to get the Hydra Stomper with Steve Rogers. You got to add Captain Carter. I think you got to do it. That's just my opinion. But that right there, that's it, guys. That's the display. That's so damn cool. And, you know, if you attempted to do a flight pose with a different, even I mean, Hulkbuster would be impossible. You couldn't do it. The weight difference is crazy. Like even doing flight poses with heavy, like War Machine is kind of, War Machine Mark 1, doing that, even that's kind of tough. Yeah, this is, have an acrylic stand. I would love to have more acrylic flight stands. Like I would 100% be down with this for just a regular Iron Man figure to have just a normal acrylic flight stand just like this. I would have no problem with that versus what we got now. I mean, I'm good with both, but I'm just saying that that's just freaking cool, man. Just freaking cool. Now, there's one thing I want to mention, because I don't think I mentioned it earlier with Steve Rogers. The oversized boots that comes with him are laughable and are a little bit of a pain in the butt to get him to balance a little bit. You can see right there. They're just large. They are large. I mean, they're almost like clown boots. They're crazy big. But he looks so good, man. Look at that. Come on. Come on. Tell me about it. Just saying. I'm pretty stoked. You guys can probably tell. I'm very happy to have this in the collection. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm having fun with this one, guys. The flight, I don't know if I'm going to have him standing up or flying. But flying is pretty freaking cool, I must say. Let's do another pose. So I've got another pose for you guys. Obviously I took Captain Carter off the Hydra Stomper. Or maybe I should do that first. I don't know. I sometimes record these out of order. Either way, I happen to have this old G.I. Joe 12-inch scale bike that I used for my rescue cap years and years ago. And I figured, what the hell? Let's break it out. I think it looks pretty freaking awesome. I'm not sure how I'm going to display this whole thing. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below with all the poses I'm showing you. Which one would you choose to pose and display? Which one would you do? I'm genuinely curious how you would, what you would choose. But there's Captain Carter looking all kinds of awesome. Got her pistol right there. Got the shield. We got old Steve over here chilling out on this bike. What a cool, I mean, that's just, I don't know. It just looks cool, I think. Maybe I can wire it up, add a light or something like that. Be kind of sick. And then obviously we got our Hydra Stomper up here with a friendly face. We got a friendly face going on up there. So I broke out Zombie Hunter Spidey just to give you a little taste and add him in here because he's part of the What If line. And the setup's a bit large to get everything in without chopping somebody's parts off of. But I think most everybody's pretty much interested in this set right here. This setup right here. Maybe not Zombie Hunter Spidey. These guys right here look absolutely sick. I am super, super pleased with this. The construction of the Hydra Stomper is, I don't know what else you would ask for. Maybe the paint application, you might want to step it up a little bit, but it's animated. So do you want to take it realistic? I don't think you do. I think it works. And the addition of Captain Carter in there with that punch of blue and silver and white and red is just, it's absolutely needed. I think in a green on green world. But all of these just look so freaking good. Let's do another pose. Uh-oh, what have we here? Somebody has hijacked the Hydra Stomper. Steve Rogers here is not very happy about that. And let's see how this plays out. It could be interesting. Could be. Let's see here. Maybe we can get a clue as to what's going on. Yeah, he's definitely not happy about that. What's going on over here? That might be a clue as to who has actually hijacked the Hydra Stomper. And it is none other than, well, you knew he had to do it. Deadpool has hijacked the Hydra Stomper and is very happy to have done so. And nothing is going to good come out of this. I mean, nothing good is going to come out of Deadpool stealing the Hydra Stomper, I don't think. But it's what if. Anything can happen. I mean, literally, Deadpool killed the entire Marvel Universe. That was the thing. So could he absolutely invade the what if line? Yes, he could. And you could pose it just like this, and you could pose it all kinds of different ways. If I had to say, like, my rating on, I don't typically rate figures, but my rating on the Hydra Stomper, Steve Rogers, Captain Carter, like, combo deal, like, it's, for me, shelf presence has got to be like 9 out of 10. It's just freaking good. I'm very, very happy with it. It's not going to be for everybody because it's animated. I get it. I think you could 100% get the Hydra Stomper alone and be okay, but I feel like you're missing the other companion pieces, right? You're missing those. And, you might be shortchanging yourself on your display opportunities. This is an absolutely fun display opportunity. So we got Captain Carter. We've got Zombie Hunter Spidey. At some point, we'll have our Ultron Prime figure coming out, or Infinity Ultron. That's going to be super sick. Hopefully we get some other figures like the T'Challa and even maybe not the Black Widow figure, but maybe the Hawkeye with the arm and the whole thing. Might be kind of fun. But that's my thoughts on this. I'm super happy to have it. Let me know your thoughts. Are you picking this up? Are you passing on it? Did your lack of fandom of the What If line dissuade you from picking this up? Or, did you spend the dough? Because honestly, bang for the buck value, $600 some odd for a 22 and so inch figure and a Steve Rogers to go along with it. That's a hell of a deal. It might be probably one of the best bangs for the buck that Hot Toys has dropped in a very long time. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. Please do so. That would be amazing. And if you want to hit the notification bell for live streams and that kind of stuff, that'll be fun too. But I'm pleased with this. If you haven't already done so, subscribe. Let's do it. As always, click to like. See you next time.